Scored the Earthquake's first franchise goal in history, making soccer fans in San Jose very happy. But for the Irish lad, he's far from home. Take a listen.
It's different, you know. It's quite a bit different. The mentality over there is different, especially in regards to soccer or football, as we call it. It's a lot different, you know. It's sort of a given that everybody plays every day. It's after school, lunchtime at school. It's just over here it's more organised. Everything's sort of set up more where when there's a game going, someone's actually organised it instead of us just quick call. We're out on the field and we gotta have a game for a couple of hours.
So what was it like growing up, knowing that you can say, I'm going to be a soccer player when I grow up, and knowing that that was a dream that was attainable?
I didn't actually say that very much, to be honest. You know, I really enjoyed the game. I played it, you know, every hour we could play it, but it was just sort of a natural progression for me, you know. People told me I'd play more than I believed I'd play. It was just one of those things where I just kept playing, and finally as I got a bit older and got to like 16, then scouts from England start watching you, and then you sort of realise, oh, well, I actually might play this for a living. So not until 16 that I realised I was going to play it.
And when you found out you were going to be playing MLS, were you excited, or was there a part of you wondering if Americans understand your sport that is so exciting in your home?
Well, actually, my original plan was only to come here for a couple of months. I was actually on loan in Scotland at the time, and I knew America played in our off season. So my deal was I'd come over here for 3 or 4 months and you know, keep fit, and then I'd be fit for the start of the European season. But when I went to Dallas, they were like, no, we'd really like you to come and play here. So that's what I decided to do.
And what do you think of America?
I love it. You know, I probably could have left and gone back at some stage, but I enjoy the lifestyle. You know, I love the good weather, and for the most part, I've been really happy here for the last 6 years.
And do we talk funny? Because we think you talk really cool.
Yeah, I do get that a lot, but hey, it is what it is. I'm trying to keep my Irish accent, but I haven't been home now for just over a year, so I need to go home and work on it a little bit.
It's sounding good. What do you miss the most about home?
Food and friends. I miss the food. I know a lot of people say English and Irish food is just bland, but you know, I miss it. I really do.
So what are some of your favorites?
The thing I miss the most is the breakfast. Is the sausages, the rashers or bacon as you call it, but proper bacon, not the little strip bacon you eat over here, the proper stuff. With some eggs and some black pudding and some baked beans. That's the meal I miss the most.
Do you get to cook it yourself out here at all?
I actually had it the other night. I went home, my wife had it ready for me. But when you find an English shop somewhere that normally stocks it, you can pick it up. So I normally load up every couple of months.
Oh, very nice. Well, getting back to soccer, you spent time training with Juventus back there. You got to play with some of the likes of Zidane, some other big players in European soccer. What kind of impact did that have on you?
It's an experience that I'll always have. It really is. For me, I got to play with the best player in the world, the best player of my generation by a mile in my eyes. You know, and there was also Edgar Davids was there, Del Piero was there, Thierry Henry was there at the time, and just, you know, I spent 3 or 4 months with those players. When I got there for pre-season, it was just amazing. They were like great people, and just the level of ability they have, and it's just, you find yourself standing watching on the training ground. It's hard not to obviously stand there and applaud what they do, because they really are that good. So, you know, whatever else I take out of this game, that's the experience. It's probably going to live with me the best.
And then you had quite an experience coming over to MLS. You were at 2 expansion teams in as many years. So what were your thoughts when you found out that you were going to be playing here in San Jose?
I was happy, actually. You know, there was reasons to leave Toronto, and it wasn't playing wise or anything like that. You know, the turf from my knee injury last year was sort of the factor in what made me leave the team, because they train and play on turf and I couldn't do it anymore. So, you know, to come to San Jose was a difference. I actually never thought I'd play in the East Coast. Or sorry, the West Coast, should I say. I never thought of playing the West because of how far it is from Ireland. I always said, yeah, it's too far for me to go home and people won't come and visit me. But now that I'm here, you know, I love it. I love the weather. You know, we have a great bunch of boys here. Frank's being great, and I have visitors already. I got like in-laws coming in like 2 weeks' time, and people are already scheduled to come over later on in the year. So, you know, it's worked out really well for me.
And what's the thrill of being in a re-establishment of this franchise that had such success?
Actually, to be honest, I don't think the players think about the old Earthquakes team. It's not something, you know, anyone ever brings up or we talk about. This is a new team, and, you know, we're trying to get our own identity, and we're trying to, like, really establish ourselves this season in the league. We don't want the expansion tag. We don't want that to be an excuse when we lose games, you know. we feel we're as good as any team in the league, and when we play well, we can win games. And the games that we lose, we don't blame on the expansion tag. We just blame that we played badly, and we didn't show enough commitment. So.
But you do have to talk you do have to talk reestablishing the franchise. In some ways it comes up, and you come up in it because you scored the first franchise goal for the team. How's that feel?
I should have had a hat-trick that day. That's how I feel about it. Scoring the first goal doesn't really matter to me. Getting the win was the most important thing, our first away win of the season. But as I said, this team is we're just trying to do well. We don't want to just come out like every expansion team and use that excuse to finish last in our conference or last in the league, saying we'll be better next year. A lot of players have a lot to prove in this team, and then a lot of players weren't wanted in other teams or were put in the expansion draft, and that leaves a bit of a sour taste in your mouth. So there's a lot of players that have a lot to prove here. So we're hoping that this year, we can be that first expansion team to make the playoffs, or really come close and give every team that comes to play against us a really good game.
And has your approach to soccer changed at all? I know you've had a couple of knee injuries and several injuries, your tibia, that type of thing. Has that changed your approach to playing the game at all?
No, my knee injury probably took the most out of me. The tibia is sort of straightforward. It heals up, and things are pretty much the same. Your knee injury changed you a lot. The last couple of weeks I've actually only started to feel like my old self. Everything else was different. My knee was still sore. The way you approach the ball, the way you approach the game, your general thinking changes, because you're like, oh, I'm a little sore today. Maybe this isn't going to feel good, or maybe I won't be able to do this today. Turning one way was a little. I was always slower turning on my right side and turning on my left side because of my knee. But I had a good talk with the physio here, and the doctors giving me some really good injections that sort of helped lubricate my knee a little bit. And for the past couple of weeks, I've started to feel really good and feel like my old self again.
That's good. And for a guy who grew up in Ireland, you sure have a lot of MLS career accomplishments. 4 All-Star appearances, 2 times named the best 11. What keeps you motivated in the game?
I enjoy it. I really do. It can get you down at times. I think people who don't play the game, they're like, oh, you got the best job in the world. And in a way, it's like any other job. You have your ups and downs, and like when you're having a bad time at your job, you don't want to go in every morning. It's the same here. The good thing is we get a game at the end of the week, and if you don't enjoy playing the games, well, you shouldn't be playing this game. You could train and get you down, and you can be bored and you can be frustrated. But when Saturday comes around, and if you really don't want to get out of bed that morning and go play that game, that's when you realise you've had enough and you should quit.
And talk about the chemistry out there with your teammates. What's that like to be a part of this team?
It's good. The camaraderie in the dressing room is great. I think I would really love someone who doesn't play the game to come and sit in a dressing room for a couple of days. It's good fun. There's no topics off limits. It really isn't. Everybody's up there on the pedestal to be hammered and had a go at and fun poked at them and stuff like that. And it's just good fun. And as you go through the year, all the good games you have help you build that chemistry. All the bad games you have help you build that chemistry. We came off a couple of bad games against New England, against Salt Lake, and we sat and we talked about it Monday and Tuesday that it's not good enough. We can play badly and lose games, and that's okay, but we can never be outfought in a game. No team can come in here and just run over us. It should never happen in the game. And we went out against Columbus, and it showed like real character for the team that we went out and we fought for each other, and we did the job we had to do.
And talk about your captain, Nick Garcia. What's that like to have him on the team?
Nick's a good player. Nick's got a lot of experience. He really is. His dress sense is terrible. He came in today looking like he's going to a tennis game. And Joe Voigt had a good go at him, but no, Nick's been great. It's great to have an experienced player back there, and he's been around the league a long time, and it's a good base. Having a good goalkeeper in Joe Cannon, having Nick in front of him, and Ryan Cochran's a good defender as well, and he'll learn. He's still quite young, and when he gets to Nick's age, he'll have 6-7 years of experience in him playing this league as well. So hopefully this team will be around for a while.
Great. And then talk to me a little bit about this Time magazine poll I read about. You were leading as the person of the decade. Tell me just the whole process that went on with that.
I've been asked this so many times. To be honest, I don't know that much about it, because by the time I heard about it, I was in Switzerland at the time, and it was the poll was over and whatever. From what I understand, a lot of people started voting on the Juventus website, and then they closed the Juventus website for English-speaking people, so they found a different website to vote on, and they went off on the Time magazine thing, and it snowballed, and there was like 160,000 votes in an hour, and they crashed the site, and they threw me off in the end, so I didn't even win anything.
And the internet's good to you, because you were also voted Juventus top prospect.
More English speakers, it's one of those things. But It is what it is.
It's not you at home with different fake names voting for yourself, right?
And I think it's been 2 years since I learned to turn on a computer.
Okay.
I can type in an email address, and that's about my level of knowledge on a computer.
All right, well, thank you very much for sitting down with us. And you did say you want people to see the inside look of the players, so we might take you up on that offer. Maybe we'll have to hide out and see what you guys are really like.
You might have to beep out a couple of words, but for the most part, it's pretty good fun.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.